Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Happening. My name is George Shaft, and I've been talking quite a bit today. Been talking about how India is passing, or is going to do a $1 trillion infrastructure bill, and then I compared it to the American one that just passed, this week. I've been talking about the tragic mass shooting in Plymouth, first of its kind in 11 years in the UK. I also talked about the sex pest governor in New York and how he is no longer in a position of power. But now let's go and talk about the story that is happening. And I mean, it's happening right now. Uh, and it's a really fast developing story that's kind of, a bit breakneck at the moment. Uh, so I don't even know where to sort of start. I think the place I'll just start is with the Al Jazeera article that I thought I will start with because, it's pretty, you know, important. And it is this quote: Taliban takeover. Fighters surround Kabul from all sides. Sirens could be heard as multiple helicopters were flying above the city centre. The Taliban readied its forces on outskirts of the Afghan capital from all sides on Sunday as panicked civilians prepared for the arms group's takeover of Kabul nearly 20 years after relinquishing power in an American-led assault. Taliban spokesman Suhail Shaheen said that fighters were remaining on the capital's outskirts as negotiations took place. What are those negotiations? Well, Al Jazeera also has the answer to this, which is, quote, Taliban and the Afghan government in talks on peaceful transfer of power. Development comes as Taliban troops surround the capital but promised not to attack as talks got underway. And then even just later than that, just very, very recently, this past hour or so, we have a little breaking story that's been reported in Al Arabiya, which has the kind of final nail in the coffin, and it is the Afghan president, Ashraf Ghani, is relinquishing power, and an interim government led by the Taliban is being formed. Of course, Western countries are panicking and responding to this. In the UK, for example, Boris Johnson has just done a big announcement to recall Parliament to discuss this. Basically, in the UK, we have this thing where Parliament kind of goes on holiday during the month of August. That's why you might have noticed in the news, it's been what they call silly season, where all the stories are about, cute puppies and jokers in gardens instead of about, hey, real politics. But now it's going to be real politics as all the MPs are going to go back to Parliament and discuss this. But honestly, what are they going to discuss? Yeah, the government's already saying it. Yeah, in Afghanistan, it's already saying, yeah, we're going to resign. There was a report of British paratroopers being sent to the airport to evacuate British nationals in Kabul, and then there was a report actually just 2 hours ago of that they exchanged fire with the Taliban and were shooting at each other. But I mean, what? Okay, apart from that, what are you going to do? Seriously, what are you going to do? And I know I'm saying this, while looking like I could blend in with the Taliban, but they're taken over. What's it? In the past 3 months, Taliban have taken over 22 regional capitals. the Afghan government forces, as soon as America withdrew, just completely collapsed like a wet papier-mâché structure being crushed by a bulldozer. Like there were literally just sort of videos of like Afghan sort of troops just going like, "Oh hey, it's Taliban," just kind of threw away their guns and went like, "Hi, how you doing, guys? Please spare us." There's a report just on Friday that like 70% of all the weapons that the US and the UK had given to the Afghan army is in possession of the Taliban now. Like, and like you can even see the sort of in the videos, like they're walking around, with swanky M16s and like Humvees and like big kind of American rocket launchers. Like they won. And as far as I see it, yeah, of course they won. With like, what was the war in Afghanistan even for? I mean, seriously, like, what was it for? For the West, what were we gaining out of it? Initially in 2001, and I will repeat that number because it's going to be pretty relevant. In 2001, the story for the Afghanistan invasion was that we were going to get this guy called Osama bin Laden. He'd organized 9/11, huge terrorist attack. And it's like, we're going to get him. Okay. Then the army was there for 8 years? Until in 2009, they finally did find bin Laden and then shot and killed him in Pakistan, which is not Afghanistan. Those are two different countries. And then it's like, okay, so the original mission, parameters didn't work. He wasn't there. All right, what's next? We're gonna build like a nation. Okay, that nation evidently couldn't do anything. It was corrupt as all hell. Like the previous president, a guy called Karzai, was like pilfering billions of dollars just for like his own personal bank account, and like everyone knew it. I was like, okay, this is complete failure in that. Why else is the U.S. Army here? It's like, oh, we're going to take out the Taliban. All right, and then like even before American troops were withdrawing, it was like, yeah, Taliban have got like a quarter of the country. What is that the mission? Is it to kill them? Then it was already a failure. Like they had a quarter of the country before the withdrawal, and then when the withdrawal actually did happen, 20 years later, because as you might notice, 2001 was 20 years ago. There were literal stories there were literal US troops who died in the war in Afghanistan who were not born when the war started. Like 18-year-old soldiers died in 2020 in Afghanistan. Like they were younger than the war itself, and they were being killed in it. 20 years later, like US forces withdraw. And what does the Afghan government do? It completely collapses. It had all the money you could ever ask for. It had all the weapons that you could ever aspire for a government to have. But nobody believed in it. Nobody wanted to, basically nobody wanted to actually fight for it. And of course, why would they? Like, as far as a lot of them were concerned, it was like a foreign occupation collaborative administration that was corrupt, that was obviously corrupt, eminently incompetent in actually keeping anyone safe, because there were just like car bombings in in Kabul every Tuesday. It was not commanding any kind of loyalty, because as soon as the US forces left, like a whole bunch of their soldiers just went, "Oh, hey, okay, hey Taliban, hi friends, how you doing? I brought my rifle with me." It's just a complete shambles. And again, for what? For whom? Like, as far as I can tell, the only profiteers I can see out of all this were all the weapons companies. Raytheon, Boeing, Colt, who just was selling all the guns and all the planes and the tanks and the military equipment to be given to the troops, so then they can go and fight, shoot, bullets worth the entire annual income of a Taliban fighter who's like camping out in a cave in the mountains. And then when, that fighter didn't feel like being shot, he'd just go over to Pakistan and have a 3-month holiday in the mountains over there. Pakistan had the attitude of like, well, oh, well, you see, we could really do something about these Taliban fighters, in our mountains, but oh gosh, there's just a cricket match on today, I'm just really busy watching the cricket today. I'll do it tomorrow. I could have done it yesterday either, yesterday, it was a cloudy day, I was like indoors and I just didn't want to go out, it was, it's just too much effort, And never mind the fact that like you're giving us like billions of dollars for like weapons as well, and we just siphoned off all of the weapons and all that money to the Taliban. Like, what even? I've titled this segment just Afghanistan. Just Afghanistan. Like, just a complete monumental, catastrophic, stupid failure on all sides. We should never have gone in. Like, the evidence for going in was, there was like training camps and like a bunch of the sort of 9/11 attackers like were there. It's like, okay, maybe. So you take out the training camps and then what next? Be completely useless for 20 years. Could have been done with a drone. Let's be real. And even then, the 9/11 attackers. So what, 11 guys who did it? And 9 of them were Saudi? But no, we can't, do anything about Saudi Arabia. They're our allies. So we give them billions of dollars and pounds. We give them weapons. And oops, a lot of those weapons and money is also going to jihadists who then shoot at British and American troops. Complete shambles. Really pathetic. And really heartbreaking. Because, it's a country with a rich history, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of culture. Infamously, was it 1998? Was it the Taliban blew up like this really huge, beautiful Buddha that was in the mountains that had been carved out thousands of years before. Taliban retook that same site just yesterday, and now it's in their zone of control. Yeah, again, since the first time since 2001. It just goes to show that, like, even like such a sort of important, well-known cultural site, the Afghan government troops were like, "Why do I care? I'm being paid nothing." Literally, like there were stories of like Afghan troops were going for months with no pay. It's like, why? Like America and Britain gave the government billions of dollars. Where have they all gone? Why aren't the troops being paid on the ground? And then it's like, okay. And then they had all these amazing weapons, the latest great stuff. And then as soon as America left, they just handed it over to the Taliban and went like, yeah, okay. It's tragic, and it really is depressing that sort of an ultra conservative, destructive, kind of iconoclastic, kind of militant group has taken over. But like, what's the alternative? More occupation? What was the West supposed to like be there? Oh no, 20 years wasn't enough. Longest war in American history, but 20 years wasn't enough. Should have been 30. I'm sure, you know, the new generation of kids would have grown up to be suddenly incredibly loyal and patriotic to a corrupt, foreign propped up government with no kind of like ability to back up anything it says or does. At least, the silver lining is at least maybe, hopefully, this carnage, this madness, this just slaughter of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, maybe, hopefully, it can kind of stop. Maybe for once they can have a year which doesn't have battles and airstrikes and gunfights and car bombings all over the place. Maybe, maybe, maybe. But what do you think? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Always make sure to read the comments, which is it's a shame nobody's done so this week. But in the meantime, and in between time, I'll see you all again very, very soon. My name's been Jorge Shaft, and have a good day.